Hello, everyone. It's the Thirdman. Thanks for tuning in. Today, I'm joined by Brad Evans. What's up, brother? Thanks for coming through.
No, you're welcome, Bryson, anytime.
Nice. So it has been an amazing year for Zimbabwe cricket and for you personally. Qualification and FIFA. Let's start with the test FIFA. How special was that in your second test match?
Yeah, obviously delighted to have done it. I think I was rewarded for just doing the basics very well. I just ran in that day with a great rhythm and bowled the ball in my areas, and fortunately found the edge a few times, and there were some good catches taken, and then yeah, to finish it off by taking the last wicket and bowling the number 11, it was quite a nice, it's a special feeling for sure. So I think you're quite right when you say special.
And also special was winning a test match. Zimbabwe has played a lot of test games this year, but without the desired result. But that was amazing for the team.
Yeah, it's funny because I joke in the changing room now because I've played two tests. My first one was a draw, and then the second one is a win. So I
So
joked
you
with the
even
guys.
know,
I said, I don't know what it's like to lose. I
I
don't know
know
what it's like to lose a test match. Can you explain?
exactly, exactly.
No, it's obviously I haven't. I've only played two games. And I haven't. Afghanistan probably not the strongest test nation out there, and I think we did what we needed to do. We knew that we had a chance to win the test match, and I think everyone played a part. So it was a really cool victory to be a part of.
And a few weeks before Zimbabwe qualified for the T20 World Cup, that was needed, I guess.
Yeah, Flip, I've never been so nervous on a cricket field playing against Uganda.
Mm.
Obviously, we lost to them in the last qualifiers, which I wasn't a part of, but so I hadn't seen Uganda play before. And then it was the first game of the qualifiers, and I was so nervous. But then obviously, and they got off to a flyer of a start, and then to bring it back the way we did sort of calmed myself and everybody. And then I think we knew we could get the job done. And then after that, it was right. Probably ticked the box of the hardest game. It's now sort of just doing what we've done well, sticking to our basics and our strengths, and knocking over everyone in our way.
And now, obviously, you're going to be playing in a World Cup again. The last time we had the World Cup, Zimbabwe recorded a famous win against Pakistan, and you bowled the last over. Um, Tell me about that moment, defending not so many runs, but you've got the ball. The captain trusts you to do the job.
Yeah, flipped a long time ago now, but I remember doing the math sort of 16 overs in, and I think Blessing or Richie was bowling. And then I was counting the overs left, and I knew I had one left. And I knew I'd have to bowl at some stage. And when Richie bowled the 19th, I knew I'd have to bowl the 20th. And Richie's last ball of his over went for six. So instead of having to defend 16, I then had 10 or 11. It was, yeah. Um, and my job just got a lot harder on that one ball. Um, but obviously the rest is history. It was a great moment, and yeah, I mean, I went for seven off my first two balls. The odds weren't looking good, and then
Mm.
managed to turn it around. Yeah.
You seem to love those pressure moments, although I know everyone gets nervous, but you love them and you deliver. Is that something that you work on away from the games? Practice something you want to do to be that guy who wins the game at the death?
Yeah, I think players are judged on their performances in the moments that matter. Um, you know, batters that score runs at crucial times and bowlers who get the job done at crucial times are much more not valuable, but they become more reliable. And yeah, I've been fortunate enough to be involved in a series of pressure moments and come out on the right side. But I've also come out on the wrong side a few times. Go back to my first game back against Sri Lanka, what, 8, 9 weeks ago, and I came in and tried to scoop first ball and got caught. So in that instance, I failed. Um, you know, if that ball goes for 4, then we win the game, and I would have done the job, but I didn't. So yeah, I mean, it's what you thrive off as a player. It's you want the big moments. There's no fun in just winning by huge margins or losing by big margins. In cricket, you know, those tight moments are what the people pay for to come and watch, and it makes cricket exciting, and that's why we love the game. So yeah, I do love those pressure moments. I think it brings the best out of me. And so hopefully not too many tight moments in the future, but yeah, they definitely they bring the crowds in.
With something like that, like defending not so many runs, is it about instinct or a clear plan you stick to it, or you just have a plan with the captain, or you just do I think, how do you deal with that? Do you say we're gonna have this field and stick to that plan, or as you in your run up you make sure you adjust to whatever is up in front of you?
Yeah, it's about taking in what's in front of you because you need to know who's facing, the conditions, dimensions of the ground, the wind on the day, and obviously the pitch conditions themselves. And when it gets down to those moments, it is a ball by ball process. You often see captain and the bowler talking at the end of their mark for, in between balls quite a lot. So it's just taking it ball by ball. You know what you need. You need a dot or a one or a wicket. So it's planning on how best to get those to get that. And then yeah, just talking about it, coming up with your plan, which is usually predetermined. You've got, you know, having played international cricket for a while now, and not just me, other guys on the side, we've got our plans for the death situations, things that are our strengths and our sort of go-to. So you've always got that basic structure, but then on the day and in the moment, you might need to adjust depending on those variables, like I said.
Yeah, and obviously your career is still, I'd say you're relatively getting to play more games, international cricket. But what you've achieved, like we mentioned the test five in only your second test game, but you also have got a ODI five against India at home. How cool was that as well to pick five against the champions?
Yeah, no, listen, it was a special achievement. It was a special day. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get over the line that day as well. Um, but I'm kind of cut from the cloth of, I don't mind achieving. Well, I do like achieving, individual accolades, but it doesn't feel as good when you lose. So that day taking five against India was great, but we lost the game. So it didn't. I don't sort of carry the same feelings off the field that I did with this test match, for example, taking five and contributing to a win. So yeah, I think like everyone wants to achieve individually, but it's ultimately trying to win games for the team that matters.
Yeah, and then I've been lucky to play with you as well, and I know you've got the potential with the bet, and I know you're working hard on it. I was lucky to be there when you scored your maiden list 100. I remember you saying, "Shall we stay with me," and I tried
That's
my
right, you're better
best,
than me.
and you scored your 100. So I know you've got the potential. Is that something that you'd want to be a full-fledged all-rounder?
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, I mean the tag of potential has been attached to me for a long time, and I think I'm at the point in my career where I want to try and turn that potential into actual, being an actual all rounder. And I think the knock I just had in the test match has shown a lot of people, especially this coaching staff, who's not seen me bat before, has shown my ability, and I do think my batting is in a good space. And I'm not barking at the coaches to try get up the order, but I do want to try and contribute. Um, and yeah, everyone's aware of that, and people are aware of my ability. But I only sort of start becoming that genuine all rounder when I start contributing more consistently. So it's up to me at the end of the day, and I'm really enjoying the process of batting and working with the guys like BT, who's in the side at the moment, and working off the coaches, Dion Ibrahim and Justin Salmons, these guys that know batting inside out. Yeah, they've really helped me. So yeah, hopefully it's a upwards trend that continues.
Getting your test cap presented to you by your father, that's a dream come true, I believe. Can you tell me about that moment?
Yeah, again, a long time ago now, and what, February 2023. Yeah, I got the nod from Dave Houghton the night before that I was playing. So I called my dad. I said, "Listen, I'm playing," and I think it was a Saturday. So luckily he wasn't working. So he got in the car at 4 in the morning and drove down to Bulawayo, and he was there on time
So
to
you
yeah,
drove
hand it to me.
on
And
a ride,
I
say you drove that morning of the day. That's when you
yeah,
drove. Wow.
yeah. And I'm very grateful to everyone on the day because they did make it a special occasion for me. It's not often that you get a son, following in the father's footsteps. Obviously, Jono Campbell did it, and there's been a few others, but I think everyone understood the enormity of the occasion and sort of allowed things to happen. They invited my mum and dad onto the field to be there for that presentation. So yeah, it's something I'll look back on with fond memories for forever. It's something I achieved and something that can't be taken away from me. So yeah, I look on it with a big smile for sure.
Was cricket an obvious pathway for you then when you were young, given your dad playing for Zim? Was it obvious you're going to try and play cricket?
I loved all sports, and I was pretty good at hockey and rugby, and athletics, especially throwing javelin. Those are the things I loved and was pretty good at. Um, but I think always deep down I knew that cricket was priority. Because when it came to the age group to choose between rugby and hockey, I chose hockey just because I didn't want to get injured for cricket. So I think I had already made my mind up which sport I was gonna pursue. Yeah.
And how is it like having a supporting father? I've seen him come at club games, playing in the Vine Cup. He's seated on his chair, just watching you play. I think it's cool as
Mm,
well to have that kind of support.
No, it's good. He's been there through the whole journey. And to be fair to him, he hasn't been overbearing at all. He sort of only gives me his advice when I ask for it. He's kind of just taken a back seat, come to be a supporter and a spectator first. Um, and I think he's realized it's my career, not his. So he's just let me carry on with it. But yeah, we do talk a lot, and I go to him for advice every now and then. So yeah.
Yeah, tell me about your first class debut. You made your first class debut in England before joining
Yeah.
England. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it was cool. Obviously, I was at uni in Cardiff, and at that time there was the MCCU cricket, which was there were six centres around the UK, dedicated to giving university cricketers or um, university students that were good at cricket and wanted to potentially make a career out of cricket. And so it was, yeah, we were very lucky. I was very lucky to be in that system. We got a lot. We got, S&C, strength and conditioning, gym. We trained 3-4 times a week. We everything was paid for. We stayed in nice hotels and we traveled. But the best perk of it all was being able to play two first class games a year. And a third friendly against a county. And for us, because we were in Cardiff, we used to play Glamorgan. Unfortunately, in my last year, it was COVID, so we didn't get to play the two fixtures. So it was kind of cut short. But yeah, I made my first class debut against Gloucester, and I took 4 wickets in the first innings. We ended up losing, and it was, as you know, I think it was March. Would have been like mid-March in the UK, so the rain was coming down, and the wicket was very pretty wet. So it wasn't ideal conditions, but no, it was pretty cool to have done that. Sort of, yeah, did all right at that sort of level in the UK, and yeah, I was very grateful for that exposure at an early age.
What did you study at Cardiff? And also, maybe to other youngsters listening, how important is it also to have education if you can?
So I studied sport and exercise science, purely just because of my love of sport and um, my, I want to say addiction to improving performance, but it's more like understanding how to go about improving one's performance, whether it be through physiology, biomechanics, or psychology. And I kind of went down the psychology route. I did my dissertation in sports psychology, and yeah, I loved it. I gained a lot from it. It's something I haven't used since leaving university, admittedly, but I've I've got ideas in the pipeline of how I would like to use it one day. And yeah, I'm again being at uni in Cardiff, great life experience. Learned a lot, gained a lot. Grew up pretty quickly, having to fend for myself, far away from home. So got a lot out of it, and I'm very grateful to, and also spend time at school in the UK, and very grateful to Eastbourne College where I went, and Cardiff Metropolitan. Yeah.
Yeah, so I asked like how important maybe to other youngsters out there, if you've got an opportunity to study
Yeah.
and have an education, what sort of message can you share with other fellow youngsters or cricketers as well?
Yeah, I think listen, we you know, as someone who plays cricket, you've sometimes got this tunnel vision and all you care about is playing cricket. Um, but I think the reality is that it might not happen. You might not become a professional cricketer, or you might not be able to play cricket and make enough money out of it to live off it. You might get bad injury. I mean, you know, had 2 years out from international game due to injury. So, you know, there were moments in there where I doubted I'd ever be able to play cricket again. So, you know, that's when I was grateful for the degree that I had. So, I think always having something behind you is important. But more than just having a degree, it's more having that life experience. You know, having to fend for yourself at uni and grow up. Those experiences are also vital for moving on in your life.
You mentioned your battle with injuries now, and I know at some point you had a very brilliant start to the season, and then you got injured, and then you came back, and then got injured again. I'm like, what has kept you? Because you've showed that you're a resilient character, and also because of what you studied, you probably understand the dynamics of the body more. How tough is it
Yeah.
for deal with that? And what hope do you come back and be the blood that is going to testify for now?
So looking back on it, I think you're talking about last season where I sort of had a good start to the season, was taking wickets and scoring runs as well. Um, and unfortunately, I didn't understand the dynamics of my injury in depth enough. I had a muscle tear in my pec, and only afterwards did I find out that once you tear a muscle and then you heal it, you can have scar tissue, and scar tissue sometimes can create this false sense of pain and what you think is an injury. Um, but it's not an injury. It's just sort of the scar tissue in the muscle being tight, and um, just sort of saying, hey, listen, we haven't done this in a long time, so we're a little bit sore here. But it's not an injury. So I didn't understand the injury in that much depth. And so going back to the start of the season last year, that's what I had. I had sort of discomfort there because of the scar tissue. But it got to a point where I was just, I just sort of made my mind up. I'm just going to play, even though it's sore. I'm just going to play. And then I ended up bowling and bowling and going, oh, it's actually all right. It's not sore. It's not hurting whilst I'm bowling. It's a bit tight come the end of the day, but So in hindsight, unfortunately, I do think I extended the injury a little bit longer than it should have been. But I was just being cautious. I just didn't want to go back down that grade 2, grade 3 tear and then have 6 months out again. So I was being cautious, but at the same time, I probably could have returned a little bit quicker.
Speaking of another Brad special moment, you hit the winning rounds when Zimbabwe beat Australia for the first time in Australia. I always debate if is that Zimbabwe's biggest ever ODI win. That's a debate for another day. But tell me about that moment. It's amazing, I believe. It's okay, you tell me.
Yeah, the I always say that the annoying thing about that is we needed one to win, and I hit Mitchell Stark through the covers for 4. But because we crossed and ran 1, the score is I didn't get given the 4. I only got 1. Um, so I always say that's the most annoying thing is no one even knows that I hit Mitchell Stark for 4 through the covers. But no, flip. It was one of those games where it all just happened so quickly. Obviously, we bowled them out for 130 odd and then chased it down. So it wasn't a long game. And it was one of those ones that only sunk in a couple of weeks later, realizing the magnitude of what we'd done. Because at the time it just felt like, well, we just chased 130 in a one-day game. But looking back at it, they had a very strong side, and we managed to beat them. So yeah, it was a pretty big victory and something I'm also proud to have been a part of.
And now Zimbabwe is back at the World Cup, which is big and also important for Zimbabwe cricket next year. Are you looking forward to this T20 World Cup in Sri Lanka and India?
No, of course I'm looking forward to it. But there's still a bit of time between now and then. There's a couple of T20 series, but before then. So, one thing I've learned through sort of my time out, excuse me, my time away from the Zim side is that how quickly it can be taken away from you if you're not performing and someone else is performing. So it's not a case of me wanting to keep my side in the place. My place in the side. It's more a case of staying fit, doing all the right things. Yes, contributing to wins and contributing to the team's success. So yeah, obviously we're excited to go, but there's still other jobs ahead before that. So that's where the focus is for now.
Lastly, I think we now live in a world where everyone has got an opinion because of social media. And as players, how are you guys dealing with that? Because I can just come on your page and just write, Brad, you're not a good player, you're not a good bowler. Oh, it's now tough for players. I mean, how are you dealing with that personally? Because people always have their opinion. And as players, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, it's been tough, and especially having sat on the sidelines for so long, you see a lot more of it, because you're away from it. I feel like once I got back in the side, I am on Twitter, but I don't. I mean X. I don't have it on my phone, so I don't have access to it. My account's there, but I don't have access to it. So yeah, I just try not to see it. But every now and then you get shared something or someone mentions something that they've seen. So you see the good and you see the bad. But at the end of the day, it's not the critic who counts, it's the man in the arena. So it doesn't change my focus. I just go into training every game to just try and be my best. And sometimes it's good enough, sometimes it's not. But I always try and be as good as I can, try to win games for my country, and just try and keep improving.
So lastly, we've got the privilege of having the World Cup back in Africa in 2027, and Zimbabwe will play games at home, and we believe you guys will be part of the team. When you think about that, what just comes to your mind? World Cup at home, the top teams coming to play in Africa. How's that?
Yeah, it's really cool. I think the best thing about that World Cup is we don't have to qualify and go through the heartache and or the potential heartache of having to qualify and the stress of it all. So no, we obviously, like I was saying about the World Cup next year, we're excited. It's something that we can't wait for. I can't wait for personally, but there's a lot of cricket before that, so we don't want to cast our minds too far forward and take our eye off the ball. with what's in front of us now. So yeah, we're excited for sure. And it'll be a great specimen, I think. I think cricket coming back to Africa, or the World Cup coming back to Africa, will be really cool. And I think a lot of other teams will be looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, Brad, we'll be looking forward to more, Brad, even special moments. You've shown you've got the ability, and I believe there's more to come. And I thank you for coming through and chat to Jawi. I really appreciate it, mate.
You're very welcome, Joey. It's good to see you again. Obviously, we bumped into each other in the UK.
Yeah,
That's good to chat again.
yes, mate. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.